How's it going, everyone? So I got a question from user 235RB, and that user asks if I would do it all again. Would I go to law school? And the answer is yes. And I have made plenty of videos saying why most people shouldn't be going to law school. I say, do not go to law school generally. That's true for most all people. Most people who are applying to law school are doing it for all the wrong reasons. They think, oh, this is my way to have prestige, or this is my way to have success and money, or this is going to make me happy or make my parents happy. People are generally not doing law school, from what I've seen and from what many other social researchers have seen in the legal field, because they have a passion about the intellectual side of the law, or a passion about what they're doing in legal practice, or have a reasonable understanding of what it means to be a lawyer. A lot of people are just doing it because they think it's going to get some perceived end that's not really there. I would love to do it again because of the intellectual side of the law. For me, I just love learning, and really going through law school was a great refinement of my critical thinking skills and my logic skills and learning about the world. And a lot of it wasn't necessarily about law school in terms of what I learned in there, but what I learned from being uh, presented with certain bits of information and then saying, oh, well, what else is there? Or, oh, this gives me a lead into something else, and the networking that I did there. Now, what I would do differently is I would have taken a different prep course for the LSAT. I did not study long enough, and I took a prep course that I regretted taking the time. It was the first run of a new prep course by a tutoring company that I had liked for other stuff, but I think the prep course really failed in terms of offering tactics and tips that would have helped me a little bit better. And uh, I didn't study long enough. I did the summer thing for the LSAT. I studied like 5 or 6 weeks, did this course, but it wasn't enough. It didn't immerse me enough, and I didn't take the time to learn from my mistakes. And I did all right on the LSAT, nothing astronomical, but definitely good enough to be considered for the decent range of schools. The ones that are considered top kind of 50. I mean, some people are like, oh, T14 or bust, but realistically, when people talk about the typical major impact law schools, it's usually about the top 50, and then the law schools that are considered like uh, the ones that have been the strongest ones in America, the ones with the most notoriety, top 100, and then of course you have the T3s, T4s, which there's nothing wrong going there. Just chances are, if you go to one of those, very local in terms of practice, uh, and or you had a lot of money, so it doesn't matter. You just need a law degree, and your family's in law, whatever. Or you come out the top of your class. You know what I mean? Like I had a friend of mine, he went to a T3 law school, and he was on law review, was north toward the top of his class, got a good job after because he was at the top, and that's okay. Um, but why I would have done a different course and why I would have prepped more is I would have looked to go to law school, as I recommend everybody, for free or near free. There's no reason to pay for your legal education. Let the people who have tons of money and their parents are all attorneys, let them pay the tuition bills. Let somebody else with endowments or scholarships or like that pay your law education. Uh, don't spend any money on it. It's the return is not strong enough in terms of the economics that once were. Yes, a lot of people are still going to make lots of money. It'll still be a worthwhile endeavor, but with all things considered and with the lifestyle you might end up living, most lawyers end up being very miserable who are making the big bucks coming out. A lot of them are not as it's not as happy. A lot of stress with the working hours and family relationships. There are ways you can find balances with small firms and different types of working structures, but that has been a traditional complaint. And a way to get away from that is to not put yourself in a position where you feel the need to have to make a lot of money in order to survive. And so you can accomplish that by looking for ways to get scholarships and put yourself in a position where you're going to come out with very little to no debt whatsoever. And that's true for most upper level academic thing you could possibly imagine today. It's becoming even harder for med students now. I mean, those med school loans. I mean, as much as doctors really are the cream of the crop in terms of the potential to make money for a base salary, that is, it's been killer. And the traditional academic realms, the traditional university system has not kept up with modern teaching practices in terms of cost effectiveness. Even in my research, many schools that are adopting online classes to save money supposedly are still having these classes that are costing as much as the in-person classes. It's not being done in an appropriate way, and that's why these tutoring companies like Khan Academy and all those other people that are doing education online and virtually, and other type of online course work structures are emerging, because they're just more cost-effective ways to learn information than what is in the traditional university method. And I could see that emerging in, obviously, the place where it's going to go first in technology, and that's computer programming. People are creating these coding institutes and these coding academies. If you make it through that, then people want to hire you, and you do that. You spend $3,000 to $10,000 instead of $50,000 to $100,000 for your degree. You learn what you need to know, and they help place you. And I think that needs to be adopted for a lot of other types of academic programs. So summing it all up back together, uh, you know, I love talking legal theory. I love talking about what ways things can be done better. I love thinking about logic and contradictory statements. So law school was a lot of fun for me in that respect, and I would love to do it again. I just wish I had done it without putting as much debt as I did. I mean, I had some scholarships, but I need to really go for more than I did to make things less burdensome. So I hope that helps, and I hope that y'all are having a great weekend. Take care.